Hello Sagittarius, this is your extended reading. So let's continue on this ride that you don't have a lot of information about, and because of that you may feel like there is a lot of uncertainty and a lot of restriction. In particular, that is the message that is coming mainly from this part of your reading, this extended. So the frustration that I saw in the beginning of your first part, that frustration in a sense is aligned with some sort of spiritual knowledge, right? And that remembrance that we saw with the Six of Cups, right? Remember that trusting your heart is always going to lead you to the best outcome and to the outcome that is meant for you, in a sense, right? With the Wheel of Fortune. But it's almost like the first part is happening all in the spirit realm. So there is a part of you that is just allowing that to guide you despite your discomfort in this 3D perspective, which is being shown here in the extended. So we begin with this Seven of Wands that was showing me actually hands tied. So if you're feeling like you are being tied down or that you are restricted of movement, that is not some sort of unreal experience. That is pretty much a real and very uncomfortable situation, especially because after it we have the Queen of Pentacles. So this King of Pentacles was talking about this domain, this 3D realm, where this feeling of restriction, of constriction, of being tied down, of being unable to move, of being unable to decide for yourself, perhaps. It's like maybe you feel like you're in the hands of this one, right? So, but yes, this could be, potentially a very authoritative person in your life, right? And the way that the other cards are coming through, this could come through as, parents, because, well, let me show you. So we have the King of Pentacles, you showing up here in the middle as the Page of Swords, and then the Queen of Wands. So it's almost like this is a family picture, right? The father, the son, and the mother. So, but it came through as very rigid, as very like tied down, as very like it's almost like feeling like you cannot escape your own family in a sense, right? But it's in this human, very limited 3D perspective, right? Because it's initiated, like the sequence of the family is initiated by or controlled by the King of Pentacles. So maybe they are the ones who have the resources, maybe they are the ones who are, the owner of the house, or maybe they are the owner of the firm. However this plays for you, if this is your, real family, your, blood family, or if this is, your work family, let's say. However you find these characters or these players in your life, it's like you are in the middle. It's almost like you're in between their power, their influence, their decisions, right? This one with the physical resources, with the material abundance, with the money, with the place, with the house, with the store, with the office, whatever it is. This Queen of Wands coming through as a very demanding, not in a negative way. It's just because they don't know how to tone down their own energy. It's almost like they are this powerhouse, this volcano, right? So they don't know how much they overwhelm you. It's like it's like maybe they don't have any control of their own energy. So however they communicate with you, or whatever they ask from you, or whatever they impose, feels like too much, feels like a very high demand. That, as the Page of Swords, you know, it's almost like I'm seeing this it's almost like these two are very embedded in this physical reality, and it's almost you as this Page of Swords, you're floating, you're so not fragile. That's the thing. It's like if you didn't have this sensation of being tied, you could just float, right? You could just get rid of this constriction. But there's something about them bringing you down onto earth, right? Otherwise you would just fly away, or you would, it's almost like they are the, not the crutches, the not the, maybe the anchors, but I wasn't going to use that word because it feels too heavy. But maybe the way that you're feeling towards them, whoever they are, it's like maybe it is that heavy that they feel like anchors that are, you know, restricting literally your movement. But that's the thing. That's the, you know, when this Wheel of Fortune came through as a wrapped present for you, right? Something that you don't know what it is because it's wrapped, because you don't have all of the information. But at the same time, you're being shown, it's just that maybe it's something that is too big, that once is unwrapped ahead of time, it feels like a black hole, right? So that is the reason why you're being kept from seeing it all, or from receiving all of the information that this present contains. So maybe this is the situation, right? These ones can feel like all of the restriction, all of the frustration, because maybe they are the ones who apparently are guiding you, right? In here, in this 3D plane, right? So maybe they are the ones who are acting as some sort of players that, you know, are really this character that is this intelligence from the cosmos, from the universe, that can see way further than you can see, and even that they can see. It's just because you're so light, or it's like light as a feather, that, you know, if any wind would blow, you would just go in any direction. So there is need for these characters to be here to ground you, in a sense, to not let you flow like a feather. It's like, yes, you are floating, you are flying, you are being carried, you are being guided, but there is the need of a certain direction, right? And it's not that they are aware of this. It's almost like they are just, it's like they are just players that this cosmic intelligence uses to guide you, right? Here in this physical plane. And this is where the discomfort can come to you, especially Sagittarius, because it's like this sense of restriction to you. Maybe it feels like you are being kept from evolving, or from freedom, or from, you know, your own choice of movement, right? But what I'm seeing here is not that this is a bad thing. This is actually helping you to be grounded here, which is very funny, because I feel like, you know, there is a little bit of impatience in you, maybe towards these characters, whoever the king and the queen are, because it feels like they are deciding for you. Maybe there is a little bit of hierarchical clash, but I don't feel like they are aware of this, right? It's almost like you are better at becoming conscious of this. So maybe this is a reason why this is all coming through this reading for you, Sagittarius. Like, see them as this wrapping of the gift, that you cannot see what is in the box, right? Or what is in the Wheel of Fortune, but is something that if you saw it all before the time with the Judgment, it would be too overwhelming. That is the reason why you have to have the sense that you're not in control, because of this intelligence. It's coming again with the Judgment card. This card is coming through extra slow. It's actually, I can see the movement of this hammer. It's about to go down, but it's like in slow motion. And this slow motion is what is annoying to you, because this is like it's almost like the control that is beyond you, right? That maybe you are sensing like it's in the hands of these ones, right? It's almost like your actions or your movement or your decisions are not in your hands, but in the hands of these ones. But in reality, they're just acting out this way bigger decision, right? So that is for your good, for your highest good with the Sun. It is directing you to this place of just full knowing. It's how it's coming through. It's almost like you have to go through the black hole to experience it, to have the knowing firsthand, right? And to understand it, that it is the Sun, even though now from the outside, before going into that experience, it feels like a giant black hole. So the less you know, the better, right? And this is why this movement has been slowed down. This is the reason why you're being restricted, apparently, right? This is not something real. It's just a perception, but it is real at the same time, right? Because the experience of it in this physical perspective, yes, is like you have your hands tied, but it's just because there is a right moment to open up this gift, right? So this card, this Judgment, is talking about accepting time, accepting the rhythm, and accepting that sometimes you're going to, very clearly, very consciously, very physically decide for your own, but there are going to be moments that others, in a sense, will decide for you, and that is okay. Actually, that is the perfect moment when you can relax, right? When you don't have to have the responsibility or the seriousness of making decisions for your own, right? And I know this may sound very immature or very like, it's almost like handing your life to another, but that is not the case, right? It's like you're not handing your life to anybody. It's like you know that you can trust that the universe knows better, or the universe is preparing a gift for you. There is just the right moment to open up the present, and this is soon to arrive, but it hasn't arrived. So until then, allow this steering, right? This is actually what these two cards are talking about, ending your extended here. So 2 Cups cards, right? And this is the shift that may occur even, before you watch this reading, you had this perception of frustration and restriction and agony or angst towards people that are feeling like they are controlling your life or something like that. And now, after, listening to all of this, these 2 cards are talking about you being exactly where you need to be, because you are surrounded by love, even though it may feel like these ones are controlling you or guiding you or deciding for you. Actually, with all that they have, whether they know all that they have or they're just completely unaware, but they still are, it's almost like they are being guided by the same intelligence that is guiding you. It's almost like the universe is acting through them, right, to guide you, to steer you. So I don't feel like they know it, but they are doing everything that they can with the things that they have most, right? With the qualities that they hold, with the resources that they carry, with the intensity that they have, with the passion that they hold for you. It's like they love you, right? This is what this is talking about. These three characters here, these three hearts here are the three characters. So yes, there could still feel, it's almost like these two hearts are pressing in on you, right? It's like here you had freedom, but now these hearts are squished. It's like, you know, you have less space, but you are exactly where you need to be, right? The fives to me always indicate like the right location, especially coming from the cups realm, right? It's like you are in this perfect heart space with people that love you, even though maybe they are completely unaware of their real roles in your life, right? So allow this to unfold as it has to unfold, even though it may appear to you that is, you know, going through very, very, very slowly, to the point that maybe you're not seeing any movement, and giving you the sensation that maybe you are in a standstill, or maybe you are, you know, really restricted from movement. It's just that the movement is unperceivable at this point, right? Because it is in slow motion. But that is not a bad thing. That is actually exactly what has to happen. It's almost like these are the perfect conditions that you have to find yourself within in order to really be able to receive this gift, right? Especially because under that we have the Queen of Swords, which is coming through as you actually, right? If your parents or this King and Queen of Wands perceive you as just a Page of Swords, like in need of grounding, in need of, you know, settling down, or in need of some physical three-dimensional arrangement or help or assistance, your ability to float, your ability to fly, right, and to perceive things are only awakened by these conditions, right? It's like the only way for you to really fly away and float according to the wind is if you are in these conditions, because these conditions are steering you, right? And the interesting thing is that even though that is so interesting, okay, so underneath the Queen of Swords we have the Hanged Man and the Ace of Cups. So again, it's like you're perceiving this situation as something that maybe will never change, or is changing in a way that you didn't desire, or you haven't planned for this, or you didn't want that these people were in control of your life, or that you are being, you know, restricted by them, right? Because in this human perception, there is no way that you can pick up on this very, very slow movement that is happening out there, right? That is preparing for you to receive your gift, to open up this wrapped present. So the way that you're seeing it, even though these conditions are preparing you exactly in the right way for you to really be able to fly away and, you know, just open your wings and just fly off and float, is almost like float, you're being lifted, right? It's like if you are not held by these ones, or if you're not grounded, you would just float. You would just drift off, right, into the ethers. But that is exactly the preparation that is needed. And to you, it feels like your hands are tied, right? Here, the rope that is tying you up. It's like, this is the sensation that you have. But what is really going on is this, right? There is this, it's almost like there is this environment of love that needs to be nourished, or needs to be fed, or needs to be, it's like there has to be a little bit of time for this to be brewed, right? For this to be co-created, for this to be felt, for this, well, maybe felt from your part, right? Maybe because you are perceiving it as, you know, being squished or being pushed or being cornered, right? Which is actually not. It's like, really, it's almost like pushing you to the right spot. Because the only purpose of it, in a sense, or, well, I want to rephrase that. It's not the purpose, it's like the present. It's almost like this here is the energy that you will find once you unwrap the present. Does it make sense? But until it happens, there is something going on that you have to wait for it, right? And allow yourself to be guided. Allow yourself to have your path steered by other forces that are not you, right? That was intense, Sagittarius. I don't know if it's the full moon or not, but yeah, I feel like you are pretty much like a very in tune with your spirituality, but there's something about you needing to be steered at this moment that it's beyond your comprehension, and that is okay if you are frustrating with not knowing. But there is this true gift that it's like it will be uncovered, or it will be seen, it will be unwrapped, right? There is this gift that will be unwrapped when this time has passed, or when this perfect condition is ready. But until then, you will feel like you're being restricted, like you're being cornered, like you're being pushed, or like you're being, you know, brought to a point of no escaping it, right? So let's see what the astrological runes have to add as a final guidance for you, Sagittarius. Okay, 2 runes. Yeah. So, interestingly enough, we have Jupiter, which is your ruler, Sagittarius, but we also have Uranus. And actually, Uranus here was coming through as the wind that is guiding you. But, you know, Uranus in astrology can be a very uncomfortable energy because it holds a lot of change, a lot of it's not purging, but it's like allowing you to be innovative, like an innovator, like it's more than that. It's like trusting something that you cannot see, right? It's almost like going for something that you don't have all of the information, but trusting it the same way, right? So yes, there is change that is beyond your control, but there's also a lot of awakening. It's, how do I explain that? It's like, find your comfort in this uncomfortable situation that it is going on right now. because your ruler is here. It's like the ruler is the one that is right behind you, the King of Swords that we saw in the first part. And this Jupiter is talking about your expansion, right? Remember when I was talking about the Sun card being something that is so illuminated, that is so bright, that is so overwhelming to the point that it can grow without limit. This is what this Jupiter is talking about. But if you saw it before allowing yourself to be steered by another, it's like you would never get behind that wheel. You would never get behind the wheel. That is the reason why you're being kept from the wheel. You're being kept from steering your own wheel, because it's almost like there is this thing that you're supposed to not see at this moment, because if you were to see it, it would be too much. It would be too overwhelming to the point that it could cause this, well, what I'm hearing right now is like irreversible change. But I don't feel like that is something that could happen truly. It's almost like just see this as an opportunity of really, really receiving the gift of your life, in a sense, right? Something that is very appropriate. It's like it's what you deserve, or what you what you have been planning for, but it's just taken another path, an alternative path, an innovative path. Is that the right word? It's like a very new direction that you didn't know it was possible. So if you were to choose to take this path, you were, asked if you were able or you wanted to steer that wheel, maybe you wouldn't. That is the reason why you're not, right? So yeah, there's a lot of mystery in your reading today, Sagittarius, but I guess, when we're talking about a full moon, there's a lot of mystery that just little bits of it, and that is okay. And I feel like this is your message. It's okay to not know it all for the moment, because what you know is enough to keep you going, right? Okay, so I'm going to leave it here because it's getting really long. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope this was insightful for you, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.